Fallout Season 1 has arrived, and I'm here to talk about some of the things I enjoyed and, well, some of the things I really wasn't a fan of. I'm Raymundo. This is Raymundo Speaks. Let's talk. Now, first off, this show is a certified banger. I feel like I am fully invested and I am here for it. The transition from video games to whether it's the small screen, whether it's the big screen, hasn't always been the best. And I feel like they really broke that curse with Fallout. Now, with that being said, let's understand who this show is for. It's originally made for fans of the game because understand that's the market that they were in. But that doesn't mean if you've never played the game that you can't enjoy it. But I'm seeing a lot of reviews, a lot of influencers talk about the gore in it. Well, that's the one thing about it. Gore is an element of the actual game. And if you didn't have the gore in the show, then that takes away from the show, in my opinion. But that's not to say that you won't like it. It has action, it has drama, it has really a cheesy sense of humor, which I personally enjoy. So I think, if you do like some of those elements, then you can definitely really just get with it. You can watch it as a fan and you'll honestly just really enjoy it. Now, I will add, I do love the fact that they did make this binge worthy by releasing every single episode. If they might have released it week by week, I can't say that time would have permitted me to really stay invested, I guess, up to the point of where I am now. But like I said, that doesn't take away from it not being a great show. But I probably would have eventually waited for all the episodes to come out before I would just necessarily catch back up. Now, Lucy. My first impressions of Lucy is she was naive, and they did confirm that later on during the season. Now, I thought she was real green around the collar, just based off of her being limited into what she actually knew. And, when somebody feeds you the blue pill your entire life, then your perception is obviously minimized in regards to you kind of thinking outside outside of yourself, outside of the box, I guess if you want to say. But yeah, you notice this during her first interaction in the wasteland with the guy at the house, and she gave him some water, thinking that he would just take a sip, but no, he drank the entire thing. And I know she's thinking in her mind, like, wow, I'll never do that again. And her second interaction with Maximus, where she was sick from the radiation, and he said, "Hey, let me help you. I have, this medication, but it's in here." And she was reluctant to do it at first. And, that shows the intermediate growth from her first initial contact with the wasteland till now, and showing the fact that, hey, she's learning. Now, if we look at her interaction with the ghoul tried to kill her, tried to use her as bait, and also tried to sell her off for organs so that he can get the meds to keep him alive, his booger sugar. And she was able to escape out that situation. And instead of leaving him to basically die, she had a golden rule: do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. And that honestly takes a lot considering everything that she had to deal with after she left the vault. I mean, literally everybody was trying to kill her, and now she has the opportunity to get revenge, but she chooses to take the high ground, and that's based off her high morals. So I honestly salute her for that, and I did think that was one of the better parts of the first season for me. Next is Maximus. Max. I didn't really know what to think of his character initially seeing him. I thought that he was just weak. Like, I felt like it was a bad representation, but I soon changed that thought process. So, Max initially, when he's introduced, he's getting beat up, and he's literally getting beat up by everybody. But he started earning my respect when he got back up, and I felt, you can get knocked down, but what do you do from there? Do you stay down or do you get back up? And for me, he continued to get up. The next initial fight that he had was with the Ghoul. He could have stayed down, but he chose to get back up and continue fighting. When he left the armor, he tried to get it back. He got beat down. Then he got back up. Then he got beat down again. Then he got back up. So he honestly has earned my respect for not staying down and just really being able to get back up. And I also love the fact that there weren't many opportunities for plot holes that couldn't be answered with season two going forward. I felt like everything had a nice beginning and a nice resolution. The transition was just honestly smooth. They gave each character the appropriate time needed, where you didn't feel like you were getting too much of a particular character, where you're just like, oh man, can I kind of see what somebody else is doing, considering they're all three to be the main characters. And I do enjoy the fact also that the Ghoul was able to get a nice, appropriate amount of time, considering that's one of your strongest actors. But generally, the one actor that kind of stands out, they might get the less, time and just make it more dramatic. But the fact we're able to get so much of him, I felt like that only added to the essence of the show. Now, there weren't many things that I didn't like about the show, like it was done fantastically, but there were some minor things. For instance, Norman's ability to just kind of get access when I felt like it should have been some type of, I guess, conflict in him having such an easy way to get there. Like him going from 33 to 32, the initial time when he first went in. I'm thinking, okay, if y'all took over 32, which we find out that they didn't necessarily take over 32, they just had access. If that was the case, then why were there no guards there to at least stop them from going to 32? Like, I felt like that was too easy. And then he leaves, he goes to get Chet, and then he goes back to 32. And it's just like the access to me, it was just a little bit too easy. I wish it would have been a little bit harder to gain access. Just like I said, a minor flaw in my thinking. I would also add that I felt at times the Ghoul was a little bit too OP'd, which that basically is being overpowered. I felt like he really didn't face enough conflict. I feel like he had too much in his favor. Although I know that um, he did have the experience in the Navy. I know he was able to operate the suit, and he has over 200 years. I do understand, but his shooting was just a little bit too precise for my liking, and it just seems like he had an unlimited amount of bullets, and I would have liked him to just like not have the bullets. And if he would have kind of had to show us like maybe his fighting skills, a little hand-to-hand combat, just to add a little mix in there. But as I say, it's nothing that's too big of a deal. And I would say the interaction between Lucy's mom, who was a corpse, and Mulder. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, wait, what? What's going on here? Like there comes a time when you just have to let go, and she just wasn't really trying to let go. I mean, I felt in my mind, I would think she would just be like, "Hey, just let me go, cut off my head or something, or do something, shoot them in the head, which I don't understand why that wouldn't have worked per se. Like I said, that's just a small minor thing that I kind of noticed, but it still didn't take away from what was a great. So let me know, was I on point? Was I off point? Drop your comments below. And if you'd like me to do a part two, let me know as well. So until next time, my name is Raymundo. Don't forget to subscribe. Well, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but every time you subscribe, an angel gets their wings. An angel gets their wings. You don't want to be that person that doesn't allow the angel to get the wings, do you? Oh, no, 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 no. You don't want that on your conscience. Especially when you're trying to sleep at night, you'll be tossing and turning and tossing and turning, and you'll wonder why, and that's the reason. I don't want you to have to go through that. So just go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the like button, and if you like to, share it a time or two. Until next time, I'm out.